it's interesting that even in the last few days of the UPA government, the ministers are specializing in contradicting themselves. Now, they've done so very often in the past. But Maroof, this latest one, 3 days ago, a preliminary report into the Sindhu Ratna accident said that burnt cables due to a possible short circuit in the sailors' accommodation was the trigger, not the batteries. Chidambaram refers to the neglect of the batteries when he addresses a student audience. I think it's very important that the Ministry of Defence and the Ministry of Finance Minister and Defence Minister are both members of the Cabinet Committee on Security. They are giving us two different versions. Actually complicates the entire issue. Should the government come clean on what really the problem was? And more urgently than in the way that is. And even if it does, can it be trusted anymore?
Well, Arnab, you know, there is...
I'm going to come to you, Sanjay, after Maroof.
One is, I think, you know, there could be a case of conflicting rivalries at senior levels of the ministry, and it is an open secret that there isn't. I mean, I'm not a political pundit, but whatever little I know, there isn't enough harmony amongst the top honchos in the Congress party. Now, Mr. Jha may have a different take on it, and fair enough. The second point is that as far as the equipment is concerned, you know, there is a central point I made earlier, which I want to make again, and it has come out by some distinguished officers on the show, that the equipment provisioning and providing, whether new or even upgrades and funds for the same, there is a certain amount of very, very strict control over the spending powers even of very senior officers of the rank of chief and vice chief of the defense bureaucracy. I have had several chiefs tell me in private that there is a great degree of frustration in their vision and wisdom being contested by people who are generalists. And this absence of professionalism in the Ministry of Defence is at the core of the division between how the armed forces see their role and how they should be handling the equipment, and how the ministry perceives whether the fund is to be released further or not. Believe me, there is a great degree of struggle that senior officers and various headquarters have to take up to get funds released for what are genuine purposes. So while Mr. Chirandam might be perceiving that the money is made available to the Defence Ministry, it doesn't trickle down to the end user in a smooth manner that it should.
Who do you blame for that?
Central to
who do you blame for that?
Departure between
the Congress party says blame the service chief.
The defence bureaucracy. No, the defence bureaucracy and the inability of the minister to ensure smooth flow of funds to the services. You know, after all, the money is meant for the fighting man and for his equipment. And if the minister can't ensure the smooth functioning of his ministry, I'm sorry, I'm not going to continue to keep buying the line that he's a very honest man, good for him, and God bless his soul. But the fact of the matter is, India needs somebody who can make the system work.
Well, that didn't happen at all. Now, Sanjay Jha wanted to respond. D Bakshi, coming to you right after that. You know, we've had Chidambaram contradicting Antony. Point number one, revelation of a huge delay in the project at Mazgaon Drops, where the accident happened right now, and yet complete defiance from the Congress representative on the program once again. In fact, I'd like to tell our viewers that there was an 11,026-page report lauding Antony, celebratory, making Antony look like he's the best defense minister India has ever had or India is ever going to have. Not one word on his failures, not one word on his blip, on all the blips that he had. Almost as if it were to end after Admiral Joshi's resignation. Sanjay Jha, I just made that point yesterday because I would have expected an honest report to talk about the blips in Antony's tenure, but there wasn't a mention of one. Anyway, which of these questions now do you want to answer? Chidambaram versus Antony, perhaps?
Well, No, I'll tell you what, I think I don't want to even respond to idle speculative gossip on relationship between senior ministers. It's not worth my time, honestly. I think that's meant for gossip mongers to comment on. The fundamental point is, and I repeat that again, what's happened is wrong, and this is something that the defense minister has gone on record repeatedly. Please, for heaven's sake, and I request you, Arnab, that let us not ridicule, not just his integrity, but his concern for whatever has happened.
Oh, please.
Point number two, when the Defense Minister of India makes a statement on matters of national security, and he's made a statement saying that India's blue water capabilities are strong. He's talking not just about, 1 minute, there may have been accidents and they have to be prevented. And, you know, the issue of the debate that Raza keeps raising about the civilian and the military relationship. Yes, this has been a chronic issue. But the fundamental issue is, that India is well prepared. I can tell you, for those who complain about expenditure on maintenance, I have the numbers, Arnab. During the last 6 years, the defense budget of India has gone up twice over. The best part, capital expenditure is above 100%. Now the issues are whether some things are not being executed or implemented at an operational level. You can keep asking for the defense minister's head, but it's like me telling you, Arnab Goswami, that Times Now got sued by somebody for 100 crores. Therefore, why don't you resign? I think we need to be a little realistic.
Now, what did I tell you, Sanjay? I told you
got a good man at the helm, and we are trying to do well.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll just want to give you a little bit of advice. That I just told you that every time you make a personal comment, imagine in an imaginary world that I've taken the comment, picked it up, I've thrown it into a dustbin next to me. So that is the way I'm going to respond to all of this.
I just give you an analogy. You're taking it personally.
And the second, the second point is, it's a very easy strategy. It must be very easy, isn't it, to memorize something that you decide that regardless of what the anchor asks, I am going to answer this, and then dodge every question and only give the stated reply. So regardless of any anchor can ask you anything, like I can ask you, Sanjay, what's your name? And you will reply saying, Anthony is right, and this is my standard reply for the day. Now, Sanjay, my question to you was very simply this about batteries. Now I can also tell you, since I don't like to have this kind of a debate, the fact is it's not just the batteries which are the problem. No, it's not just the batteries. No, I'm telling you it's a wrong strategy. But, you know, it's an easy strategy for a spokesperson to decide, regardless of what the anchor asks, I will answer this. And even if I'm told to stop, I'll continue. And if an anchor asks me a second time, then I'll make a few personal remarks and then I'll get away. Now, I don't believe in that. I want to remain very factual. I will not descend to that level. But it is also transparent. Remember, Sanjay, this strategy of yours is transparent to all the viewers of Newshour. Everyone watching, and I'm putting myself on record. You can play this tape once again. What did I ask and what did you reply?
Let the viewers decide. I don't think you should.
Let the viewers decide. You should not try to influence the viewers' opinion. No, I'm putting it to the viewers' discretion only to place on record my observations. So the viewers can reject my observations if they want. Here are my observations. When I asked Sanjay a question on this subject, he answers on that. He gives me a prepared stock reply. And I don't think stock replies are what the viewers are looking for. Anyway, it's not just the batteries that are a problem. Even sonars, documents accessed by Times Now have been found to be defective.
There may be problems.
Just like the batteries.
There may be problems.
Let me speak. Just like the batteries, they have been cannibalized from another submarine. Sonars are critical. Let me ask the Navy officer that sonars are super critical to the functioning of submarines. The Navy is in such a situation, you know, you are like forced to pick up a sonar from one submarine, take it to the other, one battery, take it to the other. What are you running? Some cottage industry. It's not acceptable. It's just not. I'll let Commander J Singh.
This is what I object to, Arnab. This is what I object to. Because you don't talk about how, you know, there are underwater vehicles, there are missiles that fire under the water. You don't talk about them. You only look at the negatives.
Commander J Singh. No, I'm on fact. Commander J Singh.
I want to ask Honorable Mr. Sanjay Jha a question that he sees the light, but he's denying it. Why? He knows everything. It is like you see the daylight and deny it. No, it is not a daylight. I tell you that a simple man today, when he's going through the paper, when he gleans through these articles, we have this Project 75 India. Their file was shuttling. It was between Finance Ministry and Defense Ministry with repeated objections and clarifications causing a huge delay. Whose responsibility was this? Was it not the Defense Minister to ensure that the files are cleared quickly? In fact, the former Navy Chief, I may be wrong, former Navy Chief Admiral Joshi, he probably went to these these people in MOD and Finance Ministry sent them reminders, which is a reflection of sincerity, and they called him impulsive.
I'm saying tonight, there are people here, once again, D Bakshi, I don't usually, have to blow the credentials of individuals. I say tonight, the former Chief of Army Staff, General Shankar Roychowdhury, one of the finest and most accomplished and decorated officers this country has had. General D Bakshi, I don't have to tell the people his strategic expertise. I don't have to tell the viewers the experience of Commander J Singh. And in fact, I'm proud to say that I'm very proud to say the whole country knows the credentials of Maroof Raza, not just as a strategic affairs analyst, but as a fine soldier who has served the country in the most toughest of zones and has experienced firsthand, a fine officer. Even till now, people say he's been one of the finest cadets that people have ever known and instructors at the Indian Military Academy. These are men of experience, and I'm proud to know them, and I'm proud to know that they're here on the program. If they were to disagree with me, I would dissent to them. My research doesn't match theirs. Prakash Javdekar, I'm only placing this on record. Prakash Javdekar, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
I think honesty has a virtue only if it performs. Means if you don't perform and only you are honest, that means nothing. You are supposed and you are empowered to rule that department in a way that it delivers. If you are not delivering, it's all hollow. The issue here is the very crisis which he was talking about, the defense bureaucracy, is real. But who then is responsible? That was the issue in one rank, one pension also. And the responsibility absolutely lies with the defense minister.
My question to General Roychowdhury. General Roychowdhury, is it not possible to change things if Babudam has slowed down, the mix of Babudam, is it not possible to bring in a new structure in which the decision-making apparatus is different? After that, if the services complain, it's fine, but change the decision-making system and the timelines under which things operate. Why can't we do that?
We have tried to do it for a long time. This proposal has been pending for a very long time. It has been objected to by the bureaucracy, and that is the concept of the integrated headquarters, where now, yes, we should go ahead with that, but I don't think it will ever come through because the bureaucracy will not let it. Well, and I think whoever is functioning as a minister is powerless to influence the bureaucracy.
Well, I think there should be a very strong and serious discussion on changing the decision-making system and letting expertise come forward. I'm totally out of time, gentlemen. Totally out of time, gentlemen. Maroof, I'm sorry. Okay, I give you 10 seconds, Maroof, very briefly, but not to extend the debate, just closing comments. Yes, please.
Arnab, historically, the Congress party has always put people in charge of the defense ministry who are expected to learn on the job, and they get, arm twisted by the bureaucracy who is also learning on the job. So you have blind leading blind, and the true people who are responsible for national defense and security, the men in uniform, continue to get a raw deal because they are restricted, as one of the speakers said, by the respective service acts.
I don't believe in a status quo, Maroof.
At the same time, the rules of government's business in India since 1960s put the onus of defense of the country on the defense secretary, who could have come from animal husbandry or the Department of Health.
Maroof, I think there can be no status quo. This is the India of 2040. The way India has run as far as defense in the 1960s cannot happen 50 years later. I thank you all. We respect all points of view. But tonight, things have really reached a dangerous point. And I think we must say this much and no further. Thank you, gentlemen, for sharing your opinions.